Howdy folks, Brian with Toolin' Foolin' here. Today I'm going to be looking at this 95 Ford F150. It's got a 30250 V8. Looks great, runs great, but it's having some overheating issues recently. Particularly, we got a pretty big puddle going on underneath this thing. Crawl under here. Yeah, you can see there's a... See if we can catch that drip. But what this drip is the water pump is leaking. So we got coolant dumping out. There's a bit of a drip. So we have that problem. Got another problem over here. We got a kitty. Yeah, that's Penguin. So we're going to be looking at replacing this water pump on this truck. All right, so underneath the truck here, you can see there's the water pump. And you can see there's coolant oozing out of that weep hole right there. So that's the problem. The internal components of the water pump, the seals or whatever internal components have worn out. There's just coolant just flowing out of there pretty freely. So that's the problem there. So it should be just swapping that water pump out should fix the problem. And also while under the truck, we'll look at a couple things. Right here's the fan that'll have to come out to get access to the water pump. So those bolts right there, those bolts will come on out. That'll remove the fan. And also this fan shroud right in front of me. This will pop out. There's a couple bolts holding on up top. And on bottom, there's a clip right here. Another clip on the other side there. So those holding it at the bottom. Here's also the drain cap for the radiator. Has a little nozzle there that you can actually put like a 3/4 or 5/16 little rubber hose on, and that can drain into a bucket nicely for you. So there's a couple things that have to come out to get access to the water pump. All right, so looking under the hood of this thing, there's our water pump right there. You can see a weep hole in the top of the pump. That weep hole that's leaking though is on the other underside. So I'm going to take this dry piece of paper towel, touch it to that weep hole on the bottom side, hold there a couple seconds, and it's coming back a little wet there from the drip. So we're going to have to take that out, and to get to that, we're going to take our upper radiator hose off by loosening up this clamp here, taking that end off, take this clamp off. We're going to take our fan shroud out of the way. There's a bolt here holding it up top, bolt on this side right here, and then those clips on the bottom. Get our fan shroud out of the way. Take our fan off, loosen up these bolts here on the fan, and that'll give us room to access our water pump to get it in and out. And this here is our, what is this, the AC and power steering. We'll have to come get out of the way. There's a few bolts here holding in. So these are just mounting bolts. There's one here, one there, and another bolt. There's a third bolt. Kind of hard to see, but should just be able to take those 3 bolts out, and this will set to the side here, and that'll give us plenty of room to access the water pump. Then we'll also have to take this serpentine belt off. Here's our tensioner pulley. Put a wrench on here. It'll loosen up the tension on this belt. We can get this out of the way, and that'll give us plenty of room to access that water pump right there. All right, so before I go taking hoses and everything apart, I'm going to drain this radiator. So I got a piece of tubing here, and I got that hooked onto this little drain nozzle right there. So we can go ahead and open our drain nozzle, radiator. And also loosen the cap to let some air into here. And there we got coolant dumping out. Let this run, then we can start taking off hoses and other accessories. Okay, we're just getting things set up here before we start removing things. To remove that serpentine belt, we'll need a 15 millimeter wrench or socket. To remove the fan shroud, we'll need a 8mm. And to take this fan off, we'll need an 11mm. Just a couple tools we'll need, getting that. So those are going to be ready to go. All right, look at that nice clean coolant coming out of there. First time I drained this thing, it was complete turd water, just disgusting. Now you can actually see through this. Very nice. That could be reused, but nah, I'm not going to do that. But anyways, got this clamp loosened up. This clamp loosened up on this upper radiator hose, so let's see how big of a mess this is now. Shouldn't be too much coming out of here, but give this a little wiggle. Come on. Ooh, still some in there, not too bad. And we'll get this end pulled off. Kind of funny doing it with one hand. Here we go. And a big mess about to come out of here. Hey, not too bad. Here we go. Okay, we got that out of the way. Now we can get this fan shroud removed. Oh no, got to get that the fan out of there first, then the fan shroud. So we'll do that next. All right, gonna loosen up this serpentine belt by putting our 15mm on the tensioner pulley here, pushing this thing in a clockwise direction, and that'll loosen this up to where we can pop this serpentine belt off. There we go. Get our belt out of the way. There we go. Now we got to get this fan out of here. All right, with the serpentine belt off and our bolts out, this fan should just pop right off. Be careful not to hit your radiator and damage any radiator fins. All right. Don't know if this thing can actually come out of here until we take this shroud out or not. There we go. It looks like it does. I'm getting stuck in a belt. Let me try if I can do this with two hands. Okay, now we got our bolts taken out of the shroud. See if this pops right on it. There we go. Okay. Fan shroud out. Serpentine belt off. Radiator hose disconnected. Got the fan out, so here's our water pump. We're going to have to take off this bypass hose. Here's the hose going to our heater core. Disconnect that, disconnect this, disconnect our lower radiator hose. Get these, oh yeah, we got to get these three bolts taken out to set this assembly aside. Then we should be able to swap out this old pump, put in the new. Wish me luck. All right, I just loosened up those bolts on the AC and power steering, so we can pull those out, set this assembly aside. Take care of these. All right, this thing should just slide off of here now. Come on. Almost. Come on. Okay. All right, I'm going to have to give two hands here, so I'm going to put this down and be right back. All right, I got the power steering and AC out of the way. And those three bolts are 9/16. Now time to take this water pump off. All those bolts around here are 5/8. So I get to work on these. Finally got the water pump taken out. It was quite the pain in the ass. Here's the old water pump. All the bolts came out nice and easy, all of these here. This one though, did not come out. Snapped the head off. So ended up having to use the reciprocating saw to cut part of the water pump apart. So that bolt is right here, still with the water pump kind of cased around it. The rest of these came out nice and easy, and I got them in my little diagram here so I know which bolt goes where. Probably should get new bolts. They're all pretty well rotted, getting pretty rotted away, rusted out. So I'll see if I get some new bolts, get the water pump in tomorrow, and get it back on there. Fun stuff. All right, also got to get this water pump cleaned up. Gonna spray it down with carb cleaner, brake cleaner, whatever. Get this old gasket scraped off so we have a nice clean. So next we'll have a nice clean seal to connect to. Got to get all these metal shavings cleaned up out of here, but should be good to go after that. All right, we've got our new shiny brand new water pump here, gasket, and some black gasket sealer. So we're going to put black gasket sealer on both sides of this. Then this will go on our metal plate. Then we will mount this to the engine block. All right, we got our gasket on here. Time to mount this to the block. See if we can get this first thread started. Which one is this? Actually, oh, here, down here. Another bolt started over here. Now we're going to get these finger tight. And we'll get them all the way around. All right, we got our water pump back on. We got our AC and our power steering unit bolted back on through this through bolt here. So now we're going to set our torque wrench to 15 and torque all these down. Until we hear the little click. There we go. Over here. All right, we got the water pump on, we got everything torqued down, we got this bypass hose connected, we reconnected this heater core hose, so now we got to get this lower radiator hose on. It's going on pretty easy. Heck yes, there we go. Then we'll just grab this clamp with the channel locks, put it up in its seat. All right, now, fan shrouds back on. Got our fan pulley, water pump pulley, fan blade back on. Got to get this serpentine belt threaded in, and we'll tighten these bolts down for our fan clutch. And then we will attach our upper radiator hose from here to here. Then after that, we should be ready to top it off with coolant and see if we have any leaks. Wish us luck. All right, we got the truck started up. So far, no leaks. You can see the weep hole. Nothing's leaking out. Everything's smooth so far. Let's see how she goes. All right, we got the truck started up. I'm waiting for that thermostat to open to drink up some more coolant. So far, no leaks. Belt's back on nice and smooth. Running pretty good. All right, water pump is installed. Belts are back on. Hoses are back on. Just letting the engine run here. Getting the air bled out of the system. We'll see how we're doing. running nice and steady at 182 on the thermostat. Still a little, needle's just a little bit below center. Still putting out nice hot air. Nice hot air. All right, everything looks good, and engine's running nice and cool. Everything sounds good, no leaks. Air's bled out of the system. Gonna call that it. Thanks for watching. This is my first ever Tool and Foolin' YouTube video. Hope to make more.